We live in an era addicted to visibility. Every move is posted, every opinion is declared, every success, no matter how small, is announced with fanfare. The modern creed: be seen. Flaunt your wins. Broadcast your ambition. Display your worth. Visibility has become the new currency. But what if it's counterfeit? What if the very act of showcasing your strength is the fastest way to lose it? Niccolò Machiavelli, often reduced to a caricature of cold strategy, wasn't just a master of manipulation, he was a student of power. And he studied one lesson relentlessly: those who reveal too much become vulnerable. The peacock may dazzle, but it's the first to be hunted. The truly powerful don't announce their dominance, they allow it to be felt. Silently, irrefutably, too late to stop. In Renaissance Florence, survival didn't belong to the loud, it belonged to the silent. Power wasn't something you wore on your sleeve, it was something you kept beneath your cloak. Boasting wasn't bravery, it was a death sentence. Machiavelli watched rulers fall not because they lacked strength, but because they couldn't resist showing it. Here's the truth: strength flaunted is strength compromised. The strongest man in the room isn't the one shouting. He's the one listening, calculating, letting others destroy themselves with their own need to be admired. But look at us today. We declare goals before we take a single step. We live stream victories before they've matured. We share every plan, every emotion, every relationship in the name of authenticity. Machiavelli wouldn't call that authentic. He'd call it strategic suicide. Why? Because the predictable can be countered, the loud can be tracked, and the exposed can be dismantled. He wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." That wasn't a suggestion, it was a warning. Appearances invite judgment, revelation invites attack. The more of yourself you give away, the easier it is for others to define, oppose, or destroy you. In the court of power, mystery isn't a defect, it's a weapon. Picture the entrepreneur who boasts of a brilliant new idea. Now watch how competitors copy it or sabotage it. Picture the loudest voice in the meeting room. He might seem dominant, but respect fades quickly. Now consider the quiet one. He says little, but when he moves, others move with him. They adjust. He doesn't perform. He compels. Why? Because speech is commitment, and commitment too early is limitation. To speak is to take a position. To show off is to expose your weapons. And the moment you do, others begin crafting their response. Real strength isn't praised, it's underestimated. The fox survives not by boasting of its cunning, but by hiding it. The lion doesn't roar all day, it waits, it studies, and when it strikes, there's no escape. But today we mistake noise for dominance. We believe leadership equals loudness. We confuse exposure with influence. And we pay the price. Because here's the rule: the more you show, the more you owe. Visibility creates debt. Now you're expected to perform. And when you falter, the world remembers. Silence creates space, room to maneuver, room to evolve without explanation, room to fail without spectacle, room to win without performance. People don't fear what they understand. They fear what they can't predict. And predictability is the byproduct of overexposure. Be too visible and you become manageable. Be unreadable and you become untouchable. That's the art of power, and it begins with silence. Machiavelli wasn't warning you against ambition, he was warning you against premature exposure. He wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Translation: public declarations become chains. And when the world knows what you're supposed to be, Any deviation looks like weakness. Silence, however, is freedom. It allows you to pivot, to adapt, to reinvent, without permission. Think of two warriors. One enters the arena proclaiming victory before the first blow. The crowd roars. The opponent studies him. The other enters silently. No boast, no bravado, only presence. Who do you fear more? We don't fear the loud. We fear the unknown. In today's world, you show your wealth. Someone plots to take it. You post your plan, someone prepares to block it. You share your love life, someone envies it. You become the target, and worse, you train yourself to need that attention, that applause, that validation. You begin to live for reaction. You lose the edge, you lose the mystery, you lose yourself. Machiavelli said, "It is safer to be feared than loved, because fear is crafted, and fear demands mystery." The moment you need to be admired, you've already lost. Now you dance for approval, you shape yourself to the crowd, and you start chasing optics instead of outcomes. So what's the alternative? Become unreadable. Execute in silence. Let people guess. Let them wonder. Let them speak while you watch. This isn't cowardice, it's control. The Machiavellian doesn't react. He withholds. He doesn't explain, he doesn't announce, he doesn't need to. Because every word saved becomes leverage, and every silence builds mystique. The beginner explains, the master doesn't have to. Real power is not displayed, it's felt. The loud can be provoked. The show-off takes the bait. The silent man? He plays for position, not praise. Who runs the boardroom? The one making noise, or the one whose silence carries weight? Strategic invisibility is real. When you're loud, you can be tracked. When you're quiet, people invent versions of you. And those versions often carry more power than the truth. Kings wore veils. Emperors showed themselves only in ceremony, not out of fear, but because perception is control. The more familiar you are, the less respected you become. Familiarity doesn't breed connection, it breeds contempt. The magician who explains his trick loses his audience. The man who narrates his every move loses his advantage. The disciplined man doesn't announce victory, he multiplies it. In silence, he doesn't need to dominate the room. The room adjusts to him, because his presence isn't built on words, it's built on results. Mystique is not created by hiding, it's created by restraint. Act, don't explain. Win, don't celebrate. Speak only when your silence has done its work. This isn't timidity, it's supremacy. The Machiavellian man doesn't crave visibility. He uses it when it serves him, and only then. He doesn't post every milestone. He builds, he watches, he adapts. And when he acts, it's too late to stop him. In a world of performance, he executes. In a culture that lives on display, he becomes the outlier. And that makes him feared, respected, untouchable. You think sharing makes you powerful. It doesn't. It makes you vulnerable. Every reveal is an opportunity to be attacked, copied, undermined. But when you move in silence, there's no target, no prediction, no weakness exposed. People can't destroy what they can't define, so ask yourself, do you want recognition? Or do you want results? Because the one who is seen too soon becomes a symbol, and symbols become targets. The man who remains unreadable, he becomes a force, and forces move worlds, not crowds. Power isn't about performance, it's about presence. Presence earned not by volume, but by discipline. And that's what separates the showman from the strategist, the influencer from the ruler, the popular from the powerful. Machiavelli wrote not for the people, but for the prince, not for applause, but for dominance. So next time you're tempted to share your win, pause. Next time you want to prove your worth, pause. Next time you feel the urge to be admired, pause. Ask yourself who benefits from this display, you or those preparing to use it against you? Say nothing. Watch everything. Move only when it serves the goal. And when you do, they won't see it coming because they were too busy performing while you were preparing.